Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Stride Gamer here, providing you with a new Anno 1800 episode today. And this is quite an exciting episode for three reasons. First one is that the new DLC with the tourist is coming out today. The second is that I've launched the Discord community for this channel, so don't hesitate to please check it out. Find the link to join in the description below. And the third one is that we are finally reaching 3 million. Look, we can wait 1 second, it is gonna come. Almost there. 3 million population and still increasing, still counting. We are not finished at all. As you can see, almost 500,000 investors, which are mainly for the influence needed. Then 2.5 million scholars, and then very few journaleros, operos, explorers, technicians, because I basically haven't done anything in the New World and in the Arctic in terms of population. I've set up what I need in terms of coffee and cigars, as you may have seen in previous videos, but I haven't really put any population there. So we can go further, and then just 4.5 thousand engineers, which are right now used a bit for my research institute. As you know, the engineers help you research quicker. Uh, so it is, ladies and gents, we have reached 3 million in this Scholar run, and let me remind you that first, we are not using any export-import. There's no export-import at all, so no cheesing around, having a lot of bicycle and importing everything, or any of the resources, right? No export-import at all. And then the second element that I think is very important to me is I've seen many previous records where people would stockpile a lot of resources, tons of resources, and then just delete all of the production buildings, put tons of houses, and wait for these houses to be full to get to a record. But then the number of population will start going down because they are not producing anymore. In this playthrough, in this record, I am producing as much as I need for the population that I have. And let's start there. Then after I show you that, the other thing I want to show you is some of the next steps and why I think we can still do a lot better and reach kind of a higher number. So let's go in first in the production with Control Q. And we're going to select all of our islands, look at the consumer goods, right? So just a bit of snaps that the Arctic doesn't really matter. And sausage, we don't need any, we're producing a lot as a byproduct. Doesn't make beer, we need just a bit. It's probably for the New World, not producing it yet, but right, like almost, come on, it is one, so it doesn't count at all. Plus it's a luxury need, not even a real need. Then this is the important one, right? Canned food for scholars. We are producing more than what we need, and there's even some leeway. Then the sewing machines, that's for engineers, mostly the 4,000 engineers, doesn't really matter. Similarly, the rum, luxury good, but once again, I still have a lot of space in the New World, so that won't be a problem at all. Fur coats, it's the same for those 4,000 engineers, we need 2. I'm producing 9, so not a problem. The glasses for the investors, we're producing 62, we need 53, so all good. Similarly for the engineers, we need some bicycles as a luxury need, we are providing them, no problem. Pocket watches, similarly, no problem. Coffee for engineers, no problem, enough. Light bulbs for engineers, once again, no problem. Champagne, similarly, 90 for 70, not a problem. Cigars, 123, way more than what we need, once again, for investors. Investors, similarly, chocolate, not a problem. Jewelry, not a problem. Gramophones, only giving them to the investors, not a problem. Steam carriage, not a problem. So for the investors, you can see I'm giving everything, basic and luxury need, without any problem. For the scholars, I'm focusing on the needs that are really important to the population, which is only the basic need plus the boots, and we'll go into why the boots. But as you can see, producing enough boots. It's just enough, but I still have space, so I can increase that production if needed. Suits, producing enough. stew producing way too much. If you remember in one of my previous episodes, I said that I had one full island in Mbesa that was basically my overproduction of seafood stew, so I can delete it later and make something else out of it. And then the telephones, also not a problem. So, and everything else after is only for the New World and the Arctics, right? So that's not an issue here. But definitely producing enough for scholars. Because if we look, that is what the scholars need, right? The canned food, the suits, the seafood, stew, and telephones. And then the last one that we're producing on top is the boots. As you can see here, it says scholars 9 out of 9. Because yes, the boots are giving me resources because of this. Which one is it? It's this one. +9 bonus resident if you have tailor suit and laser boots. That is why laser boots are important. And even if I'm not giving all the other ones, we still have a good happiness, so that's not a problem. So it is, ladies and gents, 3 million and still growing, and we are producing enough. So that is something I'm quite proud of. Let me show you quickly a few of these islands. We are now in the old world, right, where we're gonna have a lot of scholars on these islands, even on the very small ones like this one. All of these. Then if you remember, we also have investors here. No, not this one, yes, investors, and investors. Then in the old world, there's 2 islands that aren't population. There's first this one, where I'm producing my pig, most of the boots, the champagne or the grapes that I need, and this is the wheat that is needed for the silos of the pigs. You can see all around here, right? Silos. And then this one is for the other boots. So between those 2 islands, I have all the boots that I need. These are the only production island in the old world. And then if we go to the Cape, we're gonna see again a lot of scholars everywhere. I even deleted here, I had the Soot Island. If you remember in one of my first videos, I deleted it because now all of the production is done on the Cape. And I'll probably do a video describing that later on, but you can see all of the telephones, the filaments, the suits here, the canneries, and also the elements needed for investors like the champagne, the glasses, the glass, all of this on the Cape. And as you can see, I still have some space here where I have those 4,000 investors. And I also have quite a bit of space here actually. As you can see, this is not used, and also here, because this is a lot of museums that at the end of the day I won't need. Why? Because I have a lot of town halls, right, where we can put items like this one, +50 attractiveness, and I still have space. And this is the same for the like 70 town halls that I have on the island. So that's gonna give me a lot of attractiveness when I fill them, which means that I won't need all of those small museums then to stay at 33,000 attractiveness. If you don't know why I'm talking about 33,000 attractiveness, this is to reach level 25 of your palace, and I have a video on this that will pop up now. Don't hesitate to check it out. So this is a bit the first thing I'll need to do in sort of the next step. Increase this attractiveness, to delete that, to see exactly what space is remaining in the Cape. Then I have a couple of other big things to do. The first one is optimizing my, well, or I'm not sure in which order I'm gonna do it, but let's say first big one is definitely to optimize my influence. If you look here, I have tons of idle ships, and each of them takes influence, of course, right? So some of these I will need because all of my trade routes are not yet fully optimized to be at 100% all of the time, but others I may not need, and then if I delete them I will get back some influence, and then if I have too much influence that means I have too much investors, right? And if I have too much investors that means I should replace them by scholars, because investors, as you can see here, usually take around, it's like the maximum is sort of 80 with those three items, versus for investors, this is a new island, so maybe it is not fully done, but let's look here. It's 180. Sure, it takes, what is it, 4x4 instead of 3x3, but still, that's a lot better. So that is the first thing, optimizing my influence, optimizing my ships, and potentially, replacing some of these investors by scholars. Then another big element that's still remaining is in the new world. We still have so if you remember, we have this island for coffee, this island for cigars and all of my marketry. We have cotton. This one is caoutchouc, which is needed a bit, but honestly not that much. So this is definitely way overproduction. Then this one was an old island that I don't need anymore. So I have all this space left. This one was an old cacao that I don't need, so all this space is also available. All of this, all of this, all of this. So many islands in the new world are still available to actually put population, right? Put population and try to increase again our global population. Similarly, in the Arctic, I have just a bit of population on on each island and each plateau to get the gas. This is how I'm getting as much gas as possible, sort of thing. But I could do a lot better. I could put a lot more population, so that's probably something we're gonna do. And then lastly, finish optimizing M-Pesa. In particular, if you remember, I just said I have a full island. I think it's this one that's producing, sort of accounting for my overflow of stew. If I don't need it, I could also put some population on it, for example. So quite a few islands left in terms of increasing a bit of population, and also optimizing ships will be important. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, 3 million scholars and investors. No need at all for any export import, because as I've shown you, and there's no secret, I've showed you that I'm producing enough to feed everybody. So no export import at all, no stock. I'm feeding all of these people, and we're not finished yet. So stay tuned, continue to watch the series, and don't hesitate also to ask any question, feedback, suggestion that you may have, and don't hesitate to join our Discord community. Again, the link is in the description below, so that you can see in advance, what I'm planning, get screenshots of new things, ask your questions, and just interact with all the other Anno fans and also fans of the other games that I may cover in that community. And thank you for watching.